Thank you very much. Taoiseach, he's gone. 3.5 years ago, I introduced the Dignity in Dying Bill, and that bill tried to start a discussion, a very profound discussion around the issue of assisted dying. And I understand this is a very complex issue, and it can pose a lot of questions in terms of one's mortality. But I believe now, with this introduction of this new bill, we can go beyond a discussion and we can have a discussion about legislation. And as a member of the Joint Committee on Assisted Dying, I was one of those 11 people out of the 14 that recommended legislative change. And I think that was a landmark decision in terms of this issue. And it made, the committee made 38 recommendations. And in the bill that we're putting forward today, that reflects the key recommendations from the committee around eligibility, safeguards and oversight. And I believe this is very, very important in terms of this issue, particularly safeguards of vulnerable people. So that's very, very important. The bill sets out to set up a legal framework and how assisted dying can be implemented. And I believe it can, with political will. Can it be done in the lifetime of this government? It's going to be very, very difficult. We're probably going to look at the next Dáil term and whoever's in government. But I believe this should be in whoever party's manifesto in terms of their programme for government. And I'd like to see this legislation being introduced in the very near future. And what we're talking about is people that are in end-of-life circumstances. And, who knows what, the future holds for anybody. But I believe profoundly that in certain circumstances where people are terminally ill and they do not want to go through certain days and weeks and months of their life, they should be able to die on their own terms. And I believe that actually it's a fundamental human right that somebody has that choice. And people do suffer, regardless of what people say. There is an element of terrible suffering that's unbearable for some people in terms of end-of-life care. And palliative care and hospice care is brilliant in this country. Really, really, really good. But I believe that another choice should be given to people in terms of end of life. And I understand there's confliction, both in terms of the medical community, I suppose those in the religious community, those in the civic community, and even those that are in this house. And I understand that, and I get it. I really do get it. But I believe, public opinion has changed. 3/4 of people that have been polled in this country in the last 3 or 4 years have indicated that they would support assisted dying if it was legislated for. So I think things have moved on, and as legislators I think we have to go forward and say, look, people in certain circumstances where they're terminally ill should have a choice. And today, I always think of those that have gone before, and the people have gone before in terms of this issue, like Mary Fleming, like Bernadette Ford, the great Vicky Phelan, that was a great supporter of assisted dying, and Brendan Clark, who sadly passed away last August. And all those and campaigners have been campaigning for a change in legislation. And I believe we can change this legislation. This should transcend politics in some ways. This should transcend, those that have I suppose, religious views that oppose assisted dying, And I do get it, but nobody should impose their religious views on something quite personal, but also very that has a societal impact as well. So I believe this is a blueprint to legislate for assisted dying. As I said, I would hope that it would be in this term of the Dáil, but probably realistically it's going to be for the next government. So on that basis, Carla, I hope one day that Sister Dine can be legislated in Ireland.
Margaret. Is the bill being opposed? So the bill is not being opposed, so the motion for leave to introduce is agreed, and I would ask the Deputy to move that the second stage be taken in private members' time.
I agree.
Move.
I move.
Margaret. Is that agreed?